Hey, what's up YouTube? I figured I'd do a quick little video about cashing out bets on sportsbooks. Should you cash out a bet or should you not? When should you cash out? Is it profitable? Is it not profitable? And if you don't know what cashing out a bet is, all it means is you're removing your wager either for a profit or a loss. So as a very simple example of cashing out a bet, you can see this is not my parlay, by the way. It's pretty degenerate. This is a 5-leg parlay plus 8,315 odds, where the person bet $200 to win over 16K. And the first 3 legs have already won. And again, this is not my parlay, this is a degenerate parlay. Is you have Kemba Walker, 4+ threes, Boston to win, Kawhi 30+ points, Clippers to win, and Murray over 27.5 points. The first 3 legs have won, and you can see that the sportsbook, in this case FanDuel, although most sportsbooks offer cash outs, not all of them, but most of the major sportsbooks like Caesars, like DraftKings, like FanDuel, they offer cash outs. As you can see, FanDuel is saying, hey, if you want to take off your bet, we'll give you 3.8K, $3,820.24 to just essentially remove your wager because the first 3 bets have already won. So the question is, would this be a good idea or a bad idea? And we'll go through a couple examples of cashing out wagers. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is, obviously, if this is life-changing money for you, then maybe cash out the bet. The purpose of this video isn't to tell you if you should take the 3.8K or not. It's more to kind of go through the math. Would it be a profitable idea to cash out or not cash out? So before we get into the math behind cash outs, if you enjoy this type of content, data-driven sports betting, I love this. I love making these videos. Please like the video. Also subscribe to the channel, comment any questions you have. I'm happy to answer. But let's get into cash outs. And in general, they're highly unprofitable. Okay, you're essentially paying the sportsbook to reduce risk, right? You're trying to cash out a bet early. You're paying the sportsbook to reduce risk. So usually they give you a pretty crappy payout. If I'm just completely honest, these sportsbooks are not trying to give you a profitable cash out. So as a simple example, if you look at this parlay here, the first 3 legs won. The first 3 legs were plus 440, plus 100, plus 100. And FanDuel is saying, hey, you can cash out for 3.8K, $3,820. That doesn't mean a profit of $3,820. It means a profit of $3,620.24 because you bet $20. So your stake is included in the cash out amount. So you'd essentially be cashing out your wager for 3.6K in profit. So the question is that any good? So what you can do is you can look at the first 3 legs, what odds they are, and create an equivalent parlay. So if you would have just bet this parlay, for example, as a 3-pick parlay, $200, you'll see that FanDuel is giving you plus 2060 odds for a 3-leg parlay where the first leg is plus 440, the second leg is plus 100, the third leg is plus 100. So essentially, what would have been the better idea as opposed to cashing out this bet is just placing the first 3 legs that ended up winning as a 3-leg parlay. You would have bet $20 and you would have profited $4,120. On the other hand, if you cash out, you're losing $500. FanDuel's only going to give you $38.20, which means $36.20 in profit, 3.6K in profit. When if you would have just placed it as a 3-leg parlay, you would have gotten 4.1K. So you're losing $500 in value on the cash out. So that's the best way to think about cashing out parlays. And next, we'll get into cashing out straight bets. But I've almost never seen a spot where cashing out a parlay made sense. Obviously, again, if it's life-changing money for you, like if this money means a ton, you could cash out, of course, or you could also hedge on a different sportsbook. You could hedge each of the other legs, and most likely that will be more profitable than cashing out. So you can also have positive or negative. Sometimes you can cash out a bet for a loss, but in this case, we bet $60 on Lou Dort over 2.5 threes, 3+ made threes at plus 220 odds. And you're gonna see, wow, FanDuel's already giving us a 66.23 cash out, so we can cash out for a little over $6 profit. And some people would be like, how does that make any sense? You place a bet, they're already offering a positive cash out. And the reason is we got incredible value on this play. So sometimes when FanDuel first posts odds, sometimes they're offering too much value. They had Lou Dort over 2.5 threes at plus 220. And now you can see it's down at plus 152. So the line moved like 70 cents from plus 220 to plus 152. And FanDuel's saying, hey, we gave you way too good of odds, so we'll give you a small little profit if you cash out your bet. So the question is, in this case, would we want to cash out the wager? Is it profitable? Is it not profitable? So let's kind of go through how you can think about the math behind cashing out straight bets as well. So we're kind of put in a tricky spot, right? We only bet $60. We got incredible value on this play. The line has moved from plus 220 to plus 152. But also we could just cash out our bet to make a 10% ROI, $6 in profit. What do we want to do? What's the math? So essentially, we can figure this out mathematically. And again, it's going to get a little mathematical. If you have questions, feel free to comment them. So sportsbooks tell you win probabilities through their odds. So what I mean by that, since it may be a little confusing, is if a team is minus 200 to win, that means they're a 2-to-1 betting favorite. The market, the sportsbooks, the betting market is telling you they're a 2-to-1 favorite, 2/3 to win the game, 66.7%. If a team is plus 200, then they're a 2-to-1 underdog. They're a third to win the game, 33.3%. So essentially, because FanDuel dropped Lou Dort's odds, the odds on his over from plus 220 to plus 152, they now think his over is more likely. It's still an underdog, it's still plus 152, but it's not as big of an underdog as they initially thought when they posted this line at plus 220, right? So essentially what you can do is you can use a calculator. It's called a no-vig odds calculator. And all it does is strip out the vig and convert the sportsbook's odds into win probabilities. So again, the over is still an underdog. So if you look at a no-vig odds calculator on OddsJam, it's 37.47% to win. According to the market, Lou Dort is 37.47% to go over, to have 3 or more threes, and he's 62.53% to go under. So what you can do is you can just figure out the expected value of your wager. And what do I mean by expected value? Well, we're betting $60 at plus 220 odds. So we're betting $60 to win 132 in profit, and we're gonna win that 132 in profit 37.47% of the time, according to FanDuel's new market. So 37.47% of the time, we're gonna win $132 in profit. The other 62.53% of the time, according to FanDuel's model, these sportsbooks, they're really good at setting lines. They're taking bets, kind of moving their market around based on what they think the probability of outcomes are. So the probability of Dort going under is 62.53%. And in that case, we'd lose our $60. So you can just figure out the expected value of your wager. 37.47% of the time, we win $132. The other 62.53% of the time, we lose our stake of $60. So our bet has $11.94 in expected value. Our bet has a profit margin of $11.94. So essentially, once again, FanDuel's giving you a bad cash out. They're letting us cash out for a profit of about $6, but our bet has a positive expected value, has, a positive edge of approximately $12. So in this case, once again, you wouldn't want to cash out. Almost always, it is not profitable to cash out a bet. Long term, it's not profitable. Again, if it's life-changing money, then cash out the bet, or you could always hedge on a different sportsbook too. But my point is long term, if you don't cash out bets, you're gonna be much more profitable because the sportsbook screws you. And even if you're getting a profit, they're not giving you a fair payout. So essentially, if FanDuel was letting us cash out our wager instead of for $66.23 for $71.94, then we'd want to cash out the bet, right? Because that's a fair cash out. Our bet has $11.94 in value, and FanDuel's letting us cash out for $11.94 in profit. But FanDuel's not letting us do that, right? If you want to reduce risk and cash out your bet, they're not going to give you a fair payout. So long story short, hopefully this video was helpful for kind of, mathematically determining whether cash outs make sense or not. But long term, almost always, it's not going to be profitable to cash out a bet.